Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie. If you are new here, I do all kinds of lifestyle vlogs and I talk about living with chronic illness, working from home, and all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in those types of videos, keep on watching, make sure you subscribe. I would love for you to stick around. Today I'm actually gonna do just like a hopefully short little sit down video to talk to you guys about weight loss. I actually did a video years ago about losing a significant amount of weight. I don't remember if it was 30 or 40 pounds. And I've talked here and there in my videos about the fact that I have gained quite a bit of weight in the last few years, dealing with health, a lot of stress, a lot of money, financial issues, issues in my relationship, issues with my health, issues with Ben's health. So tons of stuff has kind of happened in the last couple of years that have kind of pulled up this excessive weight gain. If I have pictures, I'll kind of be uploading them throughout on the videos. The dogs are also in the background. Neither of them want to take a nap right now, so apologies for that. But today I mostly want to talk a little bit about where my weight gain came from. I want to talk about why I want to lose weight. The why behind it I think is really important. I want to talk about some of the goals and things that I'm planning to do, and then anything else that kind of pops up in my head. I feel like I've watched tons of videos of people being like, this is how I lost 30 pounds, this is how I lost 50 pounds, and I don't see as many videos of people talking about the interim, like what's happening while you're trying to lose those 30 pounds. So I would like to kind of do some update videos here and there about that kind of stuff outside of my vlogs, because I know not everybody wants to sit through a long vlog and maybe you're just interested in learning about this. I will say one caveat or one piece of this that isn't necessarily normal for people trying to lose weight is that I have an autoimmune disease called Hashimoto's. It is the autoimmune version of hypothyroidism. So the disease can cause excess weight gain. It can make it very difficult to lose weight. It can cause a lot of inflammation in the body. So I'm not just your average Jane trying to lose 50 pounds. I also kind of have this health condition that sometimes battles me, sometimes doesn't. And it's not an excuse, but I just want to say for people out there, it is a little bit harder for me in general, normally, to lose weight than maybe a normal person that doesn't have an autoimmune disease. And I know some of you that are watching this channel have thyroid issues and things like that. Those are the things I want to talk about. Let's get into it. Okay, so a quick synopsis of gaining weight in general. I've talked about this a little bit on the channel before. I've talked about it a lot on Instagram. So if you're not following me there, make sure that you are. It's just Jessie__Fritz. Like I mentioned very quickly, when I met Ben, I was probably the healthiest I had ever been in 2016. I worked out constantly. I worked part-time at a gym. I loved the job that I was at. It didn't pay very well, but I did love both of my jobs, my full-time job and my gym job. I had a lot of friends. The gym was like the place that I went to feel my best. I loved working out. And then Ben and I got together. I moved to Chicago. He was still really into fitness. He was a personal trainer at the time. So he and I worked out together quite a bit. I mean, I moved to Chicago. I'm now living with or near my boyfriend. So there was a lot more going out to eat. There was a lot more, things like that. A lot of eating things that Ben could eat. He could easily eat like 3,500 calories a day and not gain an ounce, whereas I could. So I did gain a little bit of weight, but it wasn't anything a big deal. I want to say I was like 128 pounds. I'm 5'1" for reference, so I'm very short. So I gained I was probably sitting around like the 135 mark, or a little bit under, a little bit over, most of the time a little bit under, for a good chunk of time. And then Ben and I got engaged, and shortly after we got engaged, Ben's health started declining. My health started declining, unfortunately, at the same time. With his health declining, he could no longer work. So then we had financial stress on top of us because he owned his own business. So if he didn't work, that meant he didn't bring in any money. So I was then the sole provider for the family. It caused a lot of emotional turmoil between us because I felt like I was thrown into the situation without really anything to say about it. We had no idea what was wrong with Ben. I was having a flare with my Hashimoto's, and things just kind of hit the fan. We also almost broke up, so that was a huge thing as well. We were engaged, and for a few months we weren't sure if we were going to go through with the wedding. So we made a bunch of changes, went to couples therapy. Well, actually we went to couples therapy after we got married, but decided we were going to go through with the marriage. However, there was a ton of stress and just like little T trauma that came up from that experience for both of us. When that was all happening, I really wasn't feeling well. I had a new doctor who kind of like messed with my medication for Hashimoto's. It sent me into a flare. Couldn't get myself out of it. Took myself off of birth control, off of my other prescription that I was on, so my hormones went crazy, and I just started adding on more and more weight. A lot of it was also emotional eating. I was getting Uber Eats. I was in a very toxic job at that point, and I was going to lunch every single day, going and getting Starbucks every single day, things like that. And I was no longer tracking my calories. I was working out less because Ben wasn't working out. So the gym that I worked out at, I couldn't go to because he wasn't there. All of this kind of came together at the same time. I think before the wedding hit, I had gained another 15 to 20 pounds. And so my wedding photos are beautiful. I love it, but I was definitely not feeling good in my body. There's a bird outside making noise. We were still dealing with a lot of financial stress and stress around Ben's health. And I was dealing with a lot of stress with my job. Keep moving forward. We moved to Wheaton. You guys have probably, if you've been with me for a while, you remember when I did that. And then we moved here. From 2019 to my highest weight point in 2021, so 2 years, almost exactly 2 years, I gained almost 40 pounds. So that was on top of the 15 to 20 that I had already gained. All of a sudden, I'm in this body that does not feel healthy anymore. My cholesterol was high. All my levels were high. I felt puffy and gross all the time. That's kind of like what happened and how I got into the situation that it was. It was a lot of emotional eating. It was some disordered eating patterns that came up for me. It was extreme emotional stress. It was an extremely emotionally taxing and toxic job. It was my Hashimoto's going through a huge flare, and all of these things kind of pulled together, and I gained from my smallest, like 50 to 60 pounds. Why do I want to lose weight? So I think that one of the reasons that I haven't been able to lose weight in the past is because it's been all about aesthetic. I want to look better. I want to feel prettier. I want to wear prettier clothes. And those are definitely things that I still care about. And I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that that just like went away, because it didn't. However, some more of my goals that have come up that have helped me be excited to lose weight without focusing only on the way that I look are, I want to feel healthy enough to get pregnant again. I want to be a healthy and vibrant mom someday. I don't want to be sick all the time. I want to love exercise again. It was something that I absolutely adored before. It was how Ben and I got together. It was how I made most of my friends. And it's something that I really want to love again. And right now, any type of movement feels really hard for me because there's a lot of extra weight on my body. I think a couple of other things too is just my health in general hasn't been great. I think you guys know I've talked about a lot that 2021 was really hard for me mentally. I was in a very, very difficult, depressive state for almost the entire year. I had a miscarriage, all kinds of things that were very, very hard for me. One of the things is that I just want to feel better. I want to feel happier. I want to feel more vibrant. I want to feel more alive. I want to feel healthier. Those are all goals that I have that feed into this overarching goal of losing weight. So I have a few of my goals written down that I'm currently including. For me, drinking more water, I'm trying to drink 3 of these 32-ounce bottles a day. I want to incorporate more movement into my life. So that doesn't mean I'm gonna work out every single day. It just means that I'm going to move in some way every day if I can, but at least as much as possible. I will be honest, this has actually been the hardest one to implement this year. I have been able to do a lot of these other little goals, but movement has been really hard for me to get back into, even though I used to love it. I am tracking my calories, and I think that a lot of people with disordered eating patterns can get very wrapped up in this, and I am not in any way telling you that you should track calories. I am not a doctor. I don't know what the heck and bob I'm doing. I'm just doing what works for me. In the past, calorie counting, macro counting has worked for me. I'm not doing macro counting, but I am calorie counting. So with that, if I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat over my calories. If I'm not hungry, I'm not gonna eat all of my calories. It really just depends. I haven't been super strict with it, but I have been able to stay in a pretty healthy range, which has been really helpful for me. I personally am a very organized type A person. I really like keeping track of that kind of stuff. If you don't like keeping track of that kind of stuff, you don't have to do that. But for me, it's really helpful. I tend to overeat unintentionally, and I tend to not think about how many calories are in something. So for example, I was drinking large Cokes all the time. Y'all saw that. That's like 250 to 350 calories that I was just drinking away in 15 minutes. Whereas now I'm not drinking soda. I'm trying to incorporate more healthy foods, and that has been really helpful. I am also eating plant-based. Now, this is not something that you have to do. I will say, for me, one thing that I challenged myself to do, which actually ended up being super easy, and it's a really easy way to cut out extra fat, is cutting oil. I don't cook with oil anymore. I'm not like an oil-free vegan or anything like that. There's still oil in some of the sauces that I use and things like that, but I've cut using oil when I cook, and I use vegetable broth, and it has been life-changing. Honestly, I haven't noticed a difference in any of the food and any of the ways that it tastes. I still make my big bowl of potatoes, and I rinse off the potatoes before I cut them. I cut them all up, and I put a bunch of seasoning on them, and the seasoning sticks just as well, if not better, than it does when I put oil on them. And I just don't need the oil. For me, that was an easy cut. It's something I don't really need to do, and I think I was overusing oil in my cooking and not even noticing that I was doing it. But I have been eating a plant-based diet. I won't say that I'm vegan because I'm not vegan in all parts of life, and if I want to incorporate meat back into my diet at some point, I will. But I think eating more plants has been really helpful versus thinking about eating less of something else. I'm not a huge lover of meat anyway. Personally, I have an extremely emotional connection with animals, and I've always, since I was little, had a hard time putting together what meat actually was and what had to happen in order for you to eat the meat. Personally, I have never loved that, and I have never been able to think about how that comes about. So for me, it was something that emotionally I've always wanted to be vegan, or at least vegetarian. Diet-wise, every time I ate meat, I didn't feel good. And I noticed that I was like getting chicken in a bowl from Qdoba, and just because I needed to add a protein when I didn't want the protein. I didn't want the chicken, at least, so I think that I just started naturally cutting it out, and now we have been fully plant-based since October. We did have a little bit of fish in December, and I did try shrimp in December, and I was okay with it. I didn't love it, but I was okay with it. I tried salmon in January and actually ended up having an allergic reaction to the salmon, which was very interesting. So I've just been like cutting that out a little bit to see what happens. And then, like I said, I've just been focusing on adding in more good stuff versus restricting myself from bad stuff. So if I want to eat French fries, I've been buying Alexia French fries. I weigh them out, so I have 1, maybe 2 servings of it, and it quenches that craving without me having to go out and like buy a bunch of crap food or order in food or whatever. And I easily can fit it within my calories, and I'm able to quench that craving, and that's been really helpful for me. I am also working with a health coach. So a friend of mine, Kate, who has been my friend for a couple of years now. My friend has just started a coaching business doing health coaching, so I'm actually working with her as a way to kind of keep me accountable and add some motivation and help me notice patterns with what I'm eating or how I'm feeling or how emotionally attached I become to certain things, and how we can kind of work through that kind of stuff so that we can work on this emotional eating issue that I've had. So that's been really nice. I've met with her twice now, and it's been really just a really helpful thing to do. I also just kind of decided at the beginning of the year that I was going to try to be happier. Now, that is not like how depression works. You don't just like decide to be happy and magically you're happy. But I've just been making small decisions to be a little bit happier. Being happier, I just had to pause this video for almost 5 full minutes because you could hear my laundry going. My washing machine literally sounds like it's trying to tear the house down when it goes through its rinse cycle. So anyway, I am trying to be happier. So I'm trying to just pick up on little things each day, try to be a little bit more grateful for them, try to be a little bit more patient with my husband when he drives me crazy, with my dogs when they drive me crazy. It's not perfect every single day, but I'm trying just a little bit to be a little bit better. And I feel like because I feel like I'm taking care of my mental and emotional health, especially with therapy, I think that that's starting to come out physically as well, which has been really huge for me. One other thing I will say for anybody that's listening that has Hashimoto's, I did start taking a medication called low-dose naltrexone, LDN for short, back in August by request of my doctor. It's supposed to really help with inflammation in the body, particularly people with autoimmune disease, particularly people with Hashimoto's. So it might be something interesting to talk to your doctor about if you're interested. I have noticed a big difference in my overall inflammation in my body, meaning puffiness, holding on to water. It hasn't fully gone away, but I have noticed a little bit of a difference with the LDN. So I think that that has gotten my body at least to a healthy enough state where I can start to lose weight. Because in the last year or 2 or 3 years, I have not been able to lose, even when I've tried, which is why it's like hard to keep going when you aren't losing weight, no matter how hard or how strict you're being with your diet. So that's been really hard for me, but I do feel like I've seen a little bit of movement. So what I will say is I had gotten up to my highest weight, and I'm sure at some point I will tell you what that is. Just not ready to talk about it on the internet right now because I don't really like saying it out loud. I got to the highest weight that I've ever been in my entire life. When I started trying to lose weight here in January, I was down about 10 pounds from that, a little bit less than 10 pounds. I think I had kind of ballooned up to that in early 2021, and then I just slowly lost a little bit of that throughout the year. But now that I've started, I've actually lost 5 pounds in the first 2 weeks, which to me is crazy. And I'm not anticipating it to continue being easy. I wouldn't mind if it continued being easy. I know that it's gonna be a little bit of ups and downs here. I'm weighing myself every week just to see where I'm at. And like I said, I'm implementing all of those tools that I have, my new health coach, therapy, trying to be a little bit happier every day, adding in more water, eating more plants, eating less oil, not drinking soda. Those types of things I think have really kind of helped me start the ball rolling. I will say I don't want to put like a huge number goal on it because it's really hard to think about, but if I'm being honest with myself, my goal would be to lose 50 pounds. I'm not anticipating that to happen in the next 3 months. Who knows? It happens for some people, but that would be like my overall goal. Or I would like to lose enough weight to where I feel healthy. Instead of being like, I want to lose enough weight so I look how cute I used to look and I look thin and I look all of these things, I'm more interested in like, I want to lose weight enough to feel healthy, enough to feel like I don't lose my breath when I'm taking a long walk. I don't lose my breath when I'm going up and down the stairs. I don't feel like I'm carrying too much weight on my body, that it's hurting different muscles and different joints. And I just want to feel healthier and more vibrant in my body. That is kind of my plan with trying to lose weight. I do want to keep y'all updated because I know that some of you are interested in the weight loss side of things. I am not saying that everybody should lose weight. I'm saying that I feel like I want to lose weight and I am going to share that journey because I know what it's like to see someone when they've already lost the weight, when they feel their best and they look their best. And then you see those before and after pictures, but you're not actually hearing from someone and how they're feeling in that moment. And for me, it's hard. Like, I feel heavy. I have a really hard time with certain movements. I don't feel comfortable in my clothes. I wear sweatshirts and leggings all the time, which I love wearing sweatshirts and leggings, but I'm actually like a girly girl. I really love to get dressed up. I like to wear pretty dresses and like make myself look nice. And I haven't done that in years. One, because my mental health has not been in a good place, but two, because I haven't felt confident in my own body. I will say something like working on confidence in my body, the way that it looks is something that I'm working toward. I'm not anticipating that like when I get in a smaller body, I will feel tons better. In fact, when I was in my smallest body, I still was having health issues. I didn't feel good because I had a lot of gut issues at the time, a lot of bloating issues, and I still picked my body apart. So I understand that losing weight isn't going to just make everything go away, but I do think there is something to be said with wanting to feel comfortable in your own body. And my body has been screaming out to me for a long time now that she needs some help. Instead of hating my body, I want to help my body and I want to help myself get to a better place. I don't care what people say. You don't just like all of a sudden start to love your body after 30 some years of telling yourself that you're fat or 30 some years of being unkind to yourself. It doesn't just snap out of it and you aren't just like in love with your body. I think when you tell somebody that, it's just very defeating, especially when you're in a space and someone comes to you and they're like, you should just love your body the way that it is. It's not that easy, particularly if you have a background in disordered eating. And I just think that sometimes people need to check themselves before they say things to people that they don't really understand what they're going through. I will say any negative comments that are left about my weight loss or anything like that, about my body, anything that is mean, I will delete and I will block. I am not interested in a space of people being unkind to me or people being unkind to people in my comments. If any of you would like to tell me about your own journeys, if you're going through the same thing and you want to do this together, let me know in the comments down below. But again, any negativity, any comments that are trying to come across to hurt my feelings or somebody else's will be deleted. I know that talking about weight loss can really bring up some really unkindness on the internet, and I'm just like not interested. That is my long-winded story of how I'm trying to lose weight, why I'm trying to lose weight, what my goals look like. Right now, I'm just really focusing on keeping up my habit tracker, drinking as much water as possible, getting in movement, and trying to feel better in my body the way that it is now, and trying to continue to make myself feel healthier. So if you're interested in seeing more videos like this or having me talk about more of this stuff in vlog style, just let me know down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.